What's up guys, my name is Pye and I want to welcome you to SLR Lounge Unscripted. Unscripted is a series where we get to take you onto actual shoots to show you how we light, how we direct, how we pose, how we problem solve in real world shooting situations. This episode is brought to you by our good friends at B&H, and we want to thank them for sponsoring this video. In this episode, we'll be talking through the process of creating the final images that you see here. Unlike our typical shoots, the client for this shoot was actually the Langham Huntington Hotel up in Pasadena. It's a commercial shoot, and they commissioned Pye Jirsa Photography to come out and create a set of wedding images. The images were designed to fit their style and their existing marketing materials, which was on the more bright and airy side. As we watch the video, we're gonna be discussing each scene and setup and what you can incorporate into your own wedding photography work.
Okay.
Are you going head to toe here?
Yes. Attention to detail is huge for your studio. Now, during the shoot, you'll see us making tons of small modifications to pose and wardrobe. Attention to detail is a big deal on any shoot, but even more so on a commercial shoot. So I'd encourage you to watch the video and even re-watch it, noticing all the small things that we're gonna be correcting as we go through.
There you go, right there. That's perfect. Just like that. Let me see it. Gorgeous. Hold that. Don't change a thing, okay? Kind of straighten the neck. Right there. Perfect.
Let me show you the lighting setup for this first scene. So our couple is actually right there on this balcony, right? So here's their shoulders, they're standing side by side, and the balcony is directly in front of them. And they're looking out towards the view, and I have her kind of looking back and down towards the right, just so we can see some of her profile and see who she is, basically. The camera is placed back here, and we're using the frame of the doorway to actually frame the shot, and it's also doing something else. It's hiding the light that we have right here. So the light is actually right here. So this is the light, and it's a ProPhoto B2, and we're firing with a Magnum, and the light direction is actually going towards her. So the light's actually angled towards her, and we're using the spill to light a bit of him. We're also allowing the exposure to err on the brighter side, so we're not ending up with images that are too stylized. It's worth noting that you're gonna see quite a few of the compositions are leaving space in the frame for copy. We're leaving space for marketing purposes to be able to put whatever text they would like and be able to crop the images how they would like. One thing I'd encourage you all to do is after getting the shots that you need for your client, take 30 seconds to get the shot that you want. This is one of those shots, kind of something that I noticed and I wanted to capture it. It takes less than a minute and it does a couple things. Number one, it's a lot of work to go in and do these shoots, and it's just a matter of moments to grab the shot that you want to have for yourself. In addition, it shows your client an artistic vision beyond simply what they might have commissioned you for, and it can give them ideas for future shoots. We're still shooting in the same scene, but let's talk about this adjustment that we just made. I'm pushing the camera angle over towards this side, and with the camera shooting towards the couple from this direction, we're utilizing two things. The sun is actually setting behind them right now. So we have this nice glow kind of coming through the building itself. In addition, the natural direction of light coming from the sky is coming from this side. By shooting this angle, we can encompass the entire dynamic range into a single exposure while giving us good shadow direction and this beautiful kind of golden light in the background. The end result are going to be images that have beautiful color, they still retain their shadows, and they have the depth and tonal range in the final shots. It's worth noting that you'll see the composition actually shows the other wing of the hotel. Again, this is a shoot for the hotel, so we want to feature and showcase the property as much as possible.
The city. Turn the chin toward the city. More. And then Jay, look towards her. Go. Look kind of down and forward as you're kind of in step. Beautiful.
In this second scene, we have our couple placed right here. The sunlight is actually coming from behind them. This was earlier in the day and it's coming through the trees, creating a really nice and kind of beautiful background. We're shooting directly against them and into kind of the rails of the balcony. The light is placed off to the side, and this is the important piece that you guys can incorporate into your own shoots. What we're doing here is we actually have a large sun swatter placed up. And what that sun swatter is doing is essentially creating a larger light source when we don't necessarily have a larger light source. And I know you might be thinking, well, I don't have a giant sun swatter or 2 assistants to hold these lights, that's totally fine. Because you can take a small portable flash, it could be any flash, and just a standard reflector and do the exact same thing. You're gonna put the flash onto a stand, and then you're gonna simply have an assistant hold the reflector out in front of it. Then you're simply gonna fire that light into the scrim, trying to fill the entire light source without letting it spill off to the sides, because we'll get direct light on things. We just wanna fill and even out the light inside of that scrim or inside of that shoot through. This is gonna give us a really beautiful and soft light that you're gonna see in the images here. Again, it's worth noting exposure. Remember, we don't want to create overly stylized images that couldn't be used for commercial purposes. So these images are left with an exposure that's bright. Our blue tones in the sky, they're getting very bright. We can still see hints of blue there, but for the most part, they're just very light overall. In addition, we're probably flashing with about 50 watt-seconds of power, which on a B2 is somewhere around 1/4 power. For a standard flash, that'd be around full power for just a regular pocket strobe. With every scene that you shoot, I'd recommend taking additional shots once you have your light and your scene set up. Remember, we're shooting for an entire story. We need to go wide, medium, tight. We need to capture all the range and details in between. Too often, I see photographers setting up their light, getting the shot that they want, and moving on before creating a storytelling set of images. Whether you're working with models or couples, a lot of times it's difficult for them to have an expression that matches their pose or what their bodies are doing, specifically when you just set them in the final pose. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually having him stand back, and I'll do this with couples all the time. I direct them into what I want for the moment, and then I actually have them act it out. And what you end up with is expressions that actually match what the bodies and what the poses are doing. A quick tip for your veil shots is to make sure you have a natural curvature in the veil. One of the errors and mistakes I see people making is that they pull the veil too taut and it looks artificially created. It doesn't look like it was naturally caught by the wind. So in this case, we're having the assistant drop the veil. You can also just kind of create action and put motion in the veil, but the goal here is to have natural curves that you would expect to see. We want to again thank B&H for making this video possible, and if y'all liked it, help us out by giving the video a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and letting us know in the comments below what questions you have or what future content you'd like to see. Also, be sure to check out our channel at SLR Lounge. My name is Pye, and I'll see you guys in the next video.